Let's do this.
We are doing it. We're doing it right now.
I like how it's a Legacy edition. Did it come with the downloadable content?
Layers of Fear Legacy for Nintendo Switch includes DLC.
Oh,
Here it
maybe I
is.
should have got this version.
Maybe
Maybe next time.
next time.
Maybe next time.
Welcome.
Welcome back, everybody, to Soul of a Game.
In your head, lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV, turn off your mind.
Okay, just take it out and put it in somewhere. Fuck that thing.
I made it so I could use it.
Fuck it.
I want to
Fuck
use it.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody, to Soul of a Gamer.
Soul of a
Here we are again, coming at you with another game this year's game is Layers of Fear. It took us a year.
Couple weeks we can say this year's game.
No. This
could be
year's game is
that
Layers
lame.
of Fear. It took us a whole year to get through this 4-hour game. So we hope you appreciate. Every day we spent about like 30 seconds on it, I think.
Seriously, that's all I could take.
Yeah.
I was such a bitch.
No, every minute. We could play a day. A day is a minute because there's 4 hours and it's 60 minutes per hour and there's 4, so 4 times 60 is 240 minutes. So we even have extra time. So we played about a second a day.
A second a day. That's all we did. We got on with,
Probably like 10 seconds a day. But you know what? Who's counting?
which it doesn't actually autosave that much. So.
No. Really, I was kind of upset because I played the first whatever of it, the first prelude.
Oh yeah.
The prologue or the prologue. So the prologue, and then I didn't click the painting because I'm like, all right, well, we'll just wait to do the painting part. And then I turned it off and came back, and it was all gone. And I'm like, so I have to go through the whole thing again? It doesn't just save your progress. There's no save button, so why the fuck doesn't it save your progress wherever you leave off?
I wasn't sure when it would save, so every time I would only stop when I got through certain certain number of
there's a
sections.
checkpoint flare up that it shows, and usually it's at the end of each chapter. So
yeah, every time I grabbed an
beginning of
item that
each
you needed
chapter.
for the painting, that's when I would stop playing.
yeah, I would do it as soon as I got to the next chapter.
Yeah.
So I would.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So yeah, this week's game is Layers of Fear,
Bum bum bum.
and this was it was an okay game. I liked it.
Yeah. Actually.
We hope you enjoyed last week's game, which was.
Fuck. Why you always gotta point to me?
Because you don't know it, and it's funny.
It's so bad. Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah, Twisted Metal Black. Good.
Yeah.
Good. You did it.
Figured it out.
Yeah. So
put me
that
on
was
the spot.
that game was fun, just not as fun as we were hoping it would be. But
Yeah.
it was still fun.
No.
So if you want to check out our episode on it.
The stories are more interesting than the actual game.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So, but this week's game we decided to go with horror.
Yes.
Horror, limited horror.
Which we haven't done a lot of horror, and especially actual horror. We've done a lot of half horror kind of games.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start.
I'd say Resident Evil was pretty horror.
Resident Evil definitely was the most horror game we've done so
Slender
far.
was
Oh,
horror.
I guess that's true too.
So that we've done a few.
We've done a few.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wanted to get some more in there that were actual horror games.
Yeah, like click and point, and then you look behind you, and there's something behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an actual horror game.
Yeah. Some jump scare games.
Yeah. So, we'll get right into this by going to...
What's on the box?
What is on the box?
Layers of Fear. The masterpiece of fear.
You're skipping stuff.
Layers of Fear is a psychological and psychedelic horror game about a madness.
Do they really call it a
engulfed painter.
psychedelic? Is it because all the
little
colors
bit.
run?
There's parts where I would definitely say it's psychedelic.
You think so?
Yeah.
Eh.
Especially the kids' bedroom.
I think it's just literally that look at all these mismatched colors. There's tie-dye in this room.
Well,
that
I
must
mean,
be what they're going for. Because
things
even
melting
in the picture. Yeah.
and
Well,
moving.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. They're running.
Oh,
I think that's stupid. That's a dumb way to... it's psychedelic because we ran the
You have
paint.
never taken a psychedelic drug?
No, but it's dumb.
Tell me. No. I'm telling you, melting and things moving
Yeah, I get
is
it.
legit
I get it.
psychedelic
So can I
effect.
ask you at what point in this game did he take a psychedelic drug?
He's It's not because of he take a drug. It's because he's schizophrenic.
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
So when you take drugs, you're schizophrenic suddenly?
No.
Is this how this works now?
They're just saying the
Yeah, I know.
schizophrenia causes the same
I think they're-
effects as some drugs.
I think they're going pretty hard on the psychedelic part. I think they're running colors. They really tried to put the tie-dye in there now. That was stupid.
There's definitely, like, the running colors thing, I agree with him, wasn't really much to it. There wasn't, like, much to it. There's a couple of times, so we'll get to it more in the story, but, like, the kid's bedroom, like, you spinning around and all the images popping up and around and jump scaring you, that's psychedelic to me.
I wouldn't call that psychedelic. I'd call that horror still, but...
It's a psychedelic horror.
I guess.
It's not your traditional horror. It's not your traditional jump
I think
scares.
that's a traditional horror. Randomly turning around, and as you go around, things start changing around you, and you're like, oh, now there's a giant teddy bear. Oh, now there's a clown with a knife. That's a pretty classic horror move, I think.
This is going to be one that we put in our TikTok video. We need an answer to this from our fans. What do you think this game is a psychological horror and a psychedelic horror?
Yeah, I would say psychological. Psychological is the best way to describe it, although they could have went harder, and I'm going to explain why.
Yes,
I have
do
a
think,
whole thing on how hard they could have went with this.
I do think it's both, but I think...
I don't think
that there
psychedelic
is.
horror exists. I think they just put that name in there to be cool. They're just trying to fucking... we'll make up our own horror game.
I have to disagree just because I've seen a lot of psychedelic horror movies.
This is a voluptuous horror, okay? I'll make up my own fucking word for this.
A great psychedelic horror movie is Mandy is one with Nicolas Cage.
Did you just call a movie with Nicolas Cage great?
Actually, recently,
What the
all of his
f-
indie
what the
movies
fuck is
have
wrong
been
with you?
phenomenal.
Have
They've
they?
been like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. They've been like,
Well, that doesn't mean shit.
I mean,
I hate him as an actor. He's so bad.
no,
he is
you should
boring as
seriously
shit.
see some of his.
I
new
hope
movies.
he's better now because
Yes,
he was
is.
shit
Like,
for so long.
There's a movie that I totally suggest for anybody who's wanting a fun movie to watch. It's called Mom and Dad. It's on Netflix, and in
Is
the
it
movie,
good?
yes, it's
All right.
fantastic.
All right.
It's Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair are the parents, and there's this broadcast signal that goes out that makes the nurturing part of the brain that makes parents want to nurture their kids and take care of their kids. It twists it so they want to kill their offspring.
Interesting.
And the entire movie is Nick Cage being as Nick Cage as possible, trying to kill his kids.
Well, then that sounds terrible because he's
It's
Nick Cage.
fantastic.
So-
Like, at one point he picks up a Sawzall, and he's like, it's a Sawzall, because it saws all! And then runs after his kids.
His intensity is shit.
It's so awesome.
So you know what he reminds me of? You know the guy from Napoleon Dynamite?
John Ledger, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Nick Cage plays the Napoleon Dynamite character every fucking movie he does. Like every single movie he's Napoleon Dynamite.
John
That-
Heder.
Yeah, and that's why I hate him because I think it's just
I
like
hate
that.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, because that's Nick Cage. That's why
No.
you hate it. That's exactly why you hate it.
I'm a cat. A scary cat.
Yeah.
No.
Who does that sound like, Steven? I have seen Nick Cage.
sounds like Nick Cage.
It does. It sounds a little. That's his character. It's that guy.
No,
He plays in every
no.
fucking movie. Just his intensity is that boring. Like that's like he's like, we gotta do this now.
I think you would
Before
like
the
some of his
president
new movies.
dies.
We'll have to have a movie
I'm
night.
sure that I'm gonna like him better now. But that's his intensity in every fucking movie.
yeah.
That's why I don't
Well,
like him.
Well, in movies where the intensity makes sense, it's great.
Yeah.
And in movies where that intensity is in a boring ass movie, it's like,
Well, I think
what the fuck is going on?
In a comedy, he would be great. In a fucking action movie, I'm like, why did you get Nick Cage?
Well, and that's what I mean.
Because
Like,
Raising Arizona is great. That's a great fucking movie.
some of these movies where he's going more crazy in these indie movies,
Yeah.
they're designed roles
For
him to go
yeah.
crazy.
'Cause
So
you're-
it works so well.
What was that fucking movie? I know you love this movie. I just know you do because I know you. You fucking love this dumb.
Okay.
What was the car movie he was in?
Drive Angry?
Yeah, was that it? Is
Yeah.
that the one where he's at one point they're in the car and they're talking about the stick shift and it's all about fucking sex and they're like, that's a hard stick shift you got there.
Yep, it's Nick Cage and Amanda Heard.
Yeah, and it's the dumbest. They have to like steal so many cars in a
Amber
night. Is that what it is?
No, that's Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone
right?
in 60 Seconds. Yeah, that
Oh.
movie is trash.
Okay.
That
No, I love Gone in
I know
60
you
Seconds.
do. We've
Okay.
never talked about this before, and I knew you'd love that fucking
It's
movie.
a fucking phenomenal. Eleanor, the 1967 Shelby Mustang GT350.
Yeah, yes, it's cool for certain things. The only part that's not cool is fucking Nick Cage.
No, the
in
only part
movie.
that's not cool in that is
Nick
Angelina Jolie with some dreads.
Oh yeah. Angelina Jolie was a fucking mom. They should have really recasted for that movie. Like I could see Vin Diesel. That Paul Walker would have been great in that movie.
True.
He would have been fucking awesome.
True.
But Nick Cage, no, he's not cool enough. He's a fucking loser.
Okay, well, we digress.
All right. So anyway, so the back of the box. Let's finish up on the back of the box since we only got about like 1/4 of the way through.
Okay.
So you stopped at psychedelic horror.
So it's a psychological and psychedelic horror game about a madness engulfed painter striving to create his magnus opus.
Which means best painting.
Yes.
It really just means your best.
Yeah. Learn the dark story of his past while gathering carefully crafted personal items that can be found in the game. Traverse the vision-induced, constantly changing house full of supernatural phenomena where each move of the camera can shift the environment and discover the true motive of the
I
artist.
feel like I'm in a third grader's class where they're like, all right, Tommy, read page 68 now. Layers of Fear, Legacy.
It's like they tried putting as many like big words in there as they could.
Yeah. I don't know. So the box is kind of boring.
It's a little boring,
Look
but
at
I
the
mean,
pictures they put in there for a horror game. I would have put a
Yeah.
picture of the creepy lady when she's crawling like down the fucking hallway.
Oh, God.
That would have been such a better picture than the
Or
the
the-
child's room where the lights
or all,
are
like,
kind of
all
weird.
the dolls hanging.
Yeah.
Or
Put some scary fucking pictures. Don't put a fucking picture of a hallway painted like it's in a fucking like New York strip or something where it looks like it's been graffitied.
show a
the
bunch
fuck.
of rats going into a fireplace.
Yeah. Show something other than this shit that they put on the box. They really failed on this box.
The box is really not the greatest.
But we didn't wanna
and we're
scare
looking
people
at
too
the
much.
Layers of Fear Legacy box on the Switch, if any of you guys are wondering.
Yeah, I hope the regular box is better than this garbage.
I couldn't find a regular box.
Well,
The only regular box I could find was in another country. I think it was either a German or a French box.
yeah.
And
Probably better than this one.
yeah.
They know how to fucking do horror over there. All right, moving on to our next segment.
Are we jamming?
So in this, we do talk about both voice acting and music.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with the voice acting first.
'Kay.
It was shit. That
Yeah.
guy's intensity was fucking trash.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he was angry, he was like, how could you do that to me?
Hey, why are you taking so long? Why are you in the bathroom so long?
No, but
I
it would
gotta
be-
go to the bathroom.
It would be even worse. It'd be like, hey, why are you in the bathroom so long? And then he'd be like, I'm sorry, honey. I shouldn't have raised my voice like that. Like, it was the most boring fucking actor. I don't know if one of the writers just decided, I want to be the fucking voice actor in this one. Hire a real fucking voice actor. That's all I'm saying.
And I don't know if they were trying to go for some like weird effect because it was never him speaking in the game. It was him remembering in
how
the
he
game.
spoke. Maybe, but even then, I think you need to have. So one thing about this character in the game is he's obviously fucking schizo and crazy
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Yeah.
But that means he's always been fucking schizo and crazy.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, you've always like. Even if he's just crazy and something set him over the edge, he's always had that inside of him.
Yeah.
So I think that should relate somehow in the earlier parts of his memory where he's just fucking insane and his voice is insane. Why the fuck is he so calm all the time?
So see, that's the part that was kind of weird to me because if you read any of the notes from either his workers, his family,
Yeah, that
himself,
are to him,
or
like,
the doctors,
he's insane.
He's insane.
Yeah, he's fucking
Like,
angry
he's-
as shit.
He is crazy. Which I mean, I guess in the crazy thing about people who are crazy is they don't know they're crazy.
Yeah.
There's a great comedy skit by Jim Jeffries who says, right now, I feel like I'm on stage talking to thousands of people getting filmed for Netflix. But I really could be just sitting at home going, oh, I like guns, I like guns, I like guns. And I wouldn't even know because crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, it's totally true. And I'm wondering if that kind of is why they went that way with
I
his
know. I think they just
voice.
hired a shit
Because
voice
it
actor.
was just, they probably did that
Because
too. But
sometimes there is a
I'm
reason
trying to argue for it.
I know. Sometimes there is a reason they do this stuff, and sometimes it's just laziness. It's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
interviewed 4 people. I think this guy's going to be your guy.
Yeah.
Like, and these small gaming companies, which I assume this was made by a small gaming company. I'm not 100% on
So
that.
this is from Blooper Team.
Yeah, I've never heard of them, so I'm assuming they're a small gaming company.
They're kind of up and coming. So they've done.
Yeah, but this game came out like 10 years ago.
It came out in 2016.
Yeah, so 5 years, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
So a long time ago. So back when they were probably way more up and coming. Very up and coming. They haven't even reached the pinnacle.
Yeah, I think this was one of their first few
Yeah.
games, actually.
So they probably just went too hard or too soft on the voice acting aspect because there wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of lines. But you still have to go fucking good on the voice acting.
Yeah,
You can ruin
no,
the game.
I definitely agree. And
I
know
almost didn't
there's-
want to grab items because of it.
There's a second game of this, and I wonder if it's a little bit more quality and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that there was a Layers of Fear too, which I have no idea.
Well, and this team is actually, there's rumors that they're working with Hideo Kojima on a Silent Hill game.
Okay, I hope they don't do the voice acting for it.
Well, no, Hideo Kojima would hire some fucking phenomenal
Yeah.
voice actors because he always is good on that
They'd
part.
be like, listen, we got a guy for you. He did our first game.
Well, last Silent Hill game that he was going to do had Norman Reedus in it,
Yeah.
so he would get good
Well,
actors.
it would be so
for
funny
it.
if they got the same guy to be the main bad guy or something who's like trying to drive you crazy. He's like, listen, I'm in the hallway. I'm in
want
the
to
hallway.
kill you."
I'm here to kill you. I'm actually here to kill you. Hey, open the door. Open the door. Open the door. I can just picture them doing that shit. That would be the best. They would fucking win if they did that.
Yeah.
That would make me laugh. That wouldn't be a horror game anymore. It'd be a comedy.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. I think a lot of the dialogue that's written and the script and
It's
stuff
good.
is interesting.
Yeah, it's very good. It's
Very
just they
good.
needed better voice actors to really bring it
Yeah.
across. Like that would have been a great thing for them to have like that dialogue be way more intense. But
Yeah.
the intensity is not there. The woman actor was okay.
Yeah, she was
whenever
alright.
whenever the female spoke, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, because now you're literally remembering what someone else said, not just what you
Yeah.
said. So you're remembering their voice and stuff. You know what your voice sounds like, so you will remember it
Yeah.
fairly well. But another person's maybe a little bit different, but it sounded okay. It sounded a little
Yeah.
bit more creepy and crazy because she wasn't really the crazy one.
No.
So-
she definitely had some stuff going on too,
Yeah.
which I'll get into that in the story.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we'll talk about that.
yeah, I think musically though, the music in
it was
this,
okay.
I liked a lot of the music in it. I thought it
Yeah.
was, especially a lot of the piano stuff.
Yeah, that was really cool. But I think
I
that was
really
real
enjoyed-
piano
yes.
music. I think that was a famous composer who did that,
Probably.
probably. But one of the things that I didn't like, and this is something horror games do, is the music intensifies so you know something's about to
Yeah.
happen. And sometimes I'm like, I really wish it would just fucking happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'd really wish to be more surprised and like, get ready.
Right.
Something's coming at you behind you.
Well, and it's kind of like what's nice about those spots in games is this, for people like me who are kind of a bitch to horror games who struggle with that and struggle, especially because like some of these more
You can
games
close
like
your
this.
eyes when the music intensifies.
Oh, no,
I see what you're
no,
doing.
no. One of the things that's really nice about these kind of things is I know when it's safe to explore.
Yeah.
So when there's not any intense music going on, I'm like, okay, this is a time where if I'm exploring, I'm just going to get story shit. I'm not going to get scared. And that's kind of where it's nice to me.
You are such a little bitch.
I am a bitch.
My favorite part of this game is when that little girl is running down the hallways and she's like, and you're like, oh shit, am I gonna have to go down that hallway?
The best part of that one is if you don't ever go down any of the hallways she's going down, the second or third time you see her, she runs straight into the wall. Like,
No. I think either way she does that. I'm pretty
okay.
sure.
Okay,
I don't even
couldn't
think
remember.
I even remember if I followed her that much, but she does. I remember she runs into the wall. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I couldn't remember.
"Oh."
If I didn't go any other way than the one way
You
I
just
went,
walk up
so-
to her. You're like, "You okay, dude?"
I just
I
like,
think you fucked up the
oh,
horror game.
shit.
I think I'm more concerned about your broken arm now.
But it was just some of those things. Like I did enjoy a lot of the sound effects.
Yeah. The little girl's voice actor was really good.
Yeah.
The laughing was fucking creepy as shit.
All the slamming and breaking of shit was
Yeah.
very intense. I gotta say, some of it, like the music and like when you ever had to have like the phonograph in the room or whatever,
Yeah.
doing the records.
Oh, that was
so
creepy.
loud.
Oh,
and
I loved
creepy.
it. I loved it. It was the creepiest when you had to. There's a part in there where the whole room melts. You have to
Yeah.
crank it in one direction and then crank it in the other. And if you
Yeah.
try crank it in the other, the room starts melting and the music starts getting really fucking distorted.
Well, it goes backwards.
Yeah, and it's fucking crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
oh god, fuck you.
Yeah.
This music is. You don't even have to have anything else happening. You just have this music going. People are gonna go insane.
Yeah, no, that was a really good music moment. Another really good music moment was when you're in the basement and you touch the piano keys and everything lifts off the
Lifts,
ground and gravity is like, you can like just move through things and push things around like tables and
Yeah,
chairs.
you're like the Avatar at this point.
Yeah. But like that was a really cool music moment.
Yeah,
Where I was
yeah.
like, wow, actually this is like kind of really like pleasing. Like
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
I love
Yeah.
it. I like the music in this a lot. The ambiance music, whatever. It's the same as
Yeah,
every horror
it's-
game.
it's-
It's a tried and true method. It's fine.
It's just one of those things. It's creepy music that's gonna get you a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
You're gonna just think, "Oh, what's happening?" And there's a lot of shit that happens, especially just in the background.
And you're
there's
just
some,
like, if I don't turn around, nothing will happen.
there's some scares in this that are just really abrupt and in your face, and there's other things that some people might not even notice. Like
Yeah.
a lot of background shit, which I really appreciated how much different variety of scares there was in
For
this.
sure. All right, let's move on to our next segment.
How does it play?
This is a pretty point and click game, no running.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you have a fucking limp in the game, and that's a little annoying.
It's because he has a
I know.
prosthetic from the
I know. At that point, that whole storyline serves 0 point in this fucking game.
Yeah.
And it's stupid that they even put it in. You can
give
give characters some character flaws and stuff, but you got to give a reason for putting that in the game. It can't
I know
just be
they
there
talked
for no
about him
reason.
being in the war, and
Yeah.
that's when he lost it. And
But
they talked about
they talk about it so briefly that doesn't fucking matter to even put
Yeah.
it in there.
well, and they
And you
talked
see
about
his medal like in certain drawers every once in a while.
yeah. Well, and there was a doctor or a note from the prosthetic company saying something like, "I think that we made the leg a little shorter than it was supposed to be, and that's why he has the limp."
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was
Well,
not
and I get it,
actually
but
even.
again, it doesn't serve a point. Like if it was like you had trouble running from the monster, that fucking would have been awesome. If that leg
Yeah.
prevented you from getting away sometimes.
Well, and maybe it just made you feel that way.
Yeah, but it
But-
didn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Which it almost made it creepy in some aspects because you would just like dunk, dunk.
It
And you're like,
would've
what
been-
is that sound? I'm like, oh yeah, I got a pig leg.
it would have been funnier, or I guess not funnier, but more horrifying if you had no idea why your leg was limping.
Yeah.
Like if you, at the end of the game you figured out you had a prosthetic leg, or if you thought the whole game like, oh shit, what just happened to me?
Yeah.
Like you have no idea why you're limping. Because at first I was like, holy shit, did I get into a fight before this? Like, did I
Yeah.
murder someone before this? And this is why I'm going through this whole thing? Because that would be fucking cool. Nope. It shows you 2 minutes in the game. Hey, your prosthetic leg might not fit right, by the way. Sorry about that, bro. No refunds. It just doesn't make any sense. It's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a button that you could like hold down and you would go a little faster.
Yeah, shift. You could shift it
Yeah.
down, but it was not. It's so incremental. It's
Yeah,
it's
it
not even
wasn't
funny.
really worth it.
Yeah, so in the point and click game, that's all that it really is. It's kind of like a puzzle.
You open drawers and
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah,
but-
there's certain puzzles in this game. There's like 4 puzzles maybe. There's not a lot. It's
Yeah.
really, really a small amount of puzzles.
it's more just like hide and seek kind of stuff. Like go find this.
yeah. And you don't even have to do that. You could just walk through.
The checkerboard thing, you had to find those pieces.
Yeah, that's the only thing you had to. That and the one puzzle where you had to do the lock on the door. Those are the only things you absolutely had to do. Because
Yeah.
if you didn't do those, you didn't get the whatever.
Yeah.
But you didn't get the progress. But if you just walk through, you don't even have to open drawers or anything. You have to find a key every once in a while, but it's
Yeah.
usually out in the open.
And yeah, and there's safes usually, but there's usually a painting or something that has the numbers on it.
For a safe?
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 safes in the game.
No, I don't remember.
There's one in his office area, like not his. In his office.
Yeah.
Well, you go in there. The first safe you have to open is to open a door. You can't actually progress without doing that one. You had to turn on a light, and like the painting started melting, and then it said like a number.
Yeah.
So there was that safe that opened to get.
So
a
I'm guessing.
key.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
There was a hidden safe in the chess and checkers area actually. Behind it was behind something that you could just barely fit around that
Yeah.
you normally wouldn't try to go around, but I explored and I found it. And there was a safe back there, and you had to look at like some playing cards on the ground to see what the numbers were or something.
Gotcha.
you
At
put
one
in
point,
it.
I did find a combo number in a room after I did something, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this for?" And then I got to the chapter without ever using it. So I'm guessing there was a hidden save somewhere.
Yeah.
Level then.
Which I don't know what those give you. I don't know if they give you a certain thing or an achievement for finding them all or something.
Maybe.
But
I have no idea. Yeah, point and click game. I will say one of the most annoying mechanics of this game is not knowing when progress goes.
Yeah.
So if you're going through one hallway that looks like it keeps going and one hallway that stops, you have to go through the hallway that stops first if you want to explore. Because if you go through the hallway that keeps going, you can't go back. There's no backward progress. That's really fucking annoying when you have no idea which direction you're going. So my imagination is what they did for that was, hey, we're gonna get these people to play this game multiple times.
Yeah.
We're not gonna tell them which way is the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, that is definitely the point. It's one of these things. It's got 3 different endings.
yeah.
Depending on what you do in the game, so it's definitely one that
Yeah.
they tried getting replayability.
Yeah, but it's pretty simple mechanics, nothing too outside the ordinary. So
Well, and there wasn't anything that you necessarily would like. You would miss some notes and stuff, or like maybe
which
a hidden,
didn't matter to the story at all.
yeah, or you would miss a hidden safe or something. But there's not much you would miss if you just walked through the game fast.
Yeah.
Like you're still getting the
No,
base.
you would miss most of the notes and most of the pictures.
I guess you would miss a lot of the notes.
Yeah, but the notes really don't push anything.
No.
They don't do anything. They don't affect your endings.
No.
So, and that's really fucking dumb. So I thought
Just
maybe
lore.
there would be a secret ending where you could get all the notes and get all the pictures and all the paintings and stuff and be like, yeah, but no, there's not.
Oh, okay.
It's really lame. They should have really put in a secret ending. Guys,
Yeah.
let me write your shit for you.
We'll write it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, so anyway.
There'll be a lot of boobs in it.
A lot of boobs. We'll move on to... Move on.
It's story time. Let's get started.
Even though they can't see us during that,
Yeah.
still got a bob.
So there are a couple things bothered me about this story. You know, we're not going to go into the whole story or whatever.
Okay.
Too much character development without enough reasoning for that development. So the leg thing. Why the fuck do you need the peg leg? I get it adds like a character flaw, but there's no point to that character flaw.
Yeah.
You have to have a point to the character flaw. Otherwise, there's no point introducing it. Unless you're like, because they'll do that in like TV shows. They give a character like, if only I had my leg. Because they can explore that story throughout the TV show for fucking 50 hours of the TV show or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? But in a game that's only 3 hours long, giving a character a character flaw like that, there is no point. It doesn't serve his schizophrenia. It doesn't make him any more schizo, right?
No.
They never addressed that he was in the war. And maybe once you saw the medal every time you open a fucking drawer.
Yeah.
So it must have been important to him, but for some reason never addressed any notes.
True.
It's just a character flaw that doesn't matter. Even the wife burning her fucking face or whatever she burned.
That did matter to the
It
story.
kind of like it mattered because she killed herself, but I'm like,
Well, it matters a lot more than that. I'll get into a lot.
why? What is it?
Okay.
We'll just talk about it.
So what happened in the game, or what you find out in the story, is there was some sort of accident where the wife ended up getting burnt on like the left side.
Yeah.
And he consulted 16 different doctors trying to get her back to what she was.
So are you saying it affects him because it flared up his schizo? Because anything would have flared up his schizo.
Here is where, yes, I am saying that slightly. His entire time he's painting, he kept on. The Woman in Black painting was based off of her.
Yeah.
It's when you first complete the game. It's typically the ending you see. You see her getting painted, wearing black, looking pristine, and that's the image he always has of her. And he was so angry that she couldn't be the way that she was. And because of what happened to her in the fire, she stopped playing the piano. That was his biggest muse. He got all of his motivation to do all of his artwork when she was playing the piano. And she wasn't playing anymore. So that was driving him crazy. She wasn't being the same. He started trying to dive into his work. Everyone's telling him his art's shit now. So he's trying to get back to where he was. He's trying to get his wife back to where she was. He's like harassing these doctors to the point where they're about to sue him because of how much he's wanting to get his wife back to the way she was.
Yeah, but think about this. Why? What does that push the story?
It pushes the story, and
How does that get you to the ending?
Okay, it doesn't get you to the ending, but
Yeah.
it gives you more of a...
It gives you more backstory, which I
Backstory,
like. But
yeah.
again, it's just these character flaws that really don't mean anything. They could have done anything. They
Yeah.
could have made it, she has a slight pinky toe problem, never wanted to play the piano again, like anything. They could have fit anything into that role. So, and I want it to mean something in the actual fucking game, right? Like, I get it, he lost his muse, his paintings are shit, and they go through it. But there's several things like that in the game. So one of the things that I hated about this is they don't explain where all the things come from.
Like,
Right? The skin, the eye, the finger, the hair, the blood.
It's heavily implied
That
that
it's him?
his wife.
Oh, no, it's not. So
It
if you, it's heavily implied, I get that. But if you go through and read the notes, there are notes of after his wife dies that he tries to go get his kid back, that he tries to do this thing, and all of that is
Yeah.
before this is happening. So they would have caught him way before that because they have to. A lot of it's with the Child Protective Services, CPS. They have to investigate the home every single time they do that. They will find that shit. He's not hiding it well.
Well, in the
He's schizo.
I haven't played it, but in the Inheritance DLC, there's a heavy implication that there's a door that was walled off.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the game, in the base game. That has a ton of air fresheners on it.
Yeah.
And there's a slip that you can find in the game for a pack of like 24 air fresheners. It's heavily implied that she's behind that wall.
I figured that's what they were going for. They should have done it differently. That is such a fucking boring thing to do. I get it because it's the muse, and if you use part of the muse, whatever. Like, I got all of that. One thing that I thought they could do better was either have it be the daughter, which would have made sense because it's an extension of the muse, or him. And at the end of the game, instead of doing what they fucking did, which was all fucking boring as shit, have it where either if it's him, there's a mirror in that final room. And you look in the mirror and you see you're missing an eye and a finger and your hair is gone and you've got a needle still sticking out of your fucking arm. When you scream horrified and you light the fire, you finally realize what you've done to yourself and you light the fucking fire, and that's why you burn the house down.
The other thing with the house burning and a lot of the things with the fire was that it did say in there was a note that said that the wife burnt all of his old paintings, including the Woman in Black painting, which is the painting that you're trying to create again.
And then the other ending I have is instead of him, it's the daughter, and as you put the painting, like the perfect painting, on the pedestal, you turn and the daughter is just there fucking crying and mutilated.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that would have been
fucked up.
Horrifying, right? It would have been horrible. You would have been like, no, because it even says in one of the notes that he attempted to kidnap the daughter back.
Yeah.
So, and I think that would have been a really good ending for this kind of horror game where you're just trying to fuck with people psychologically, and nope, they just decided we're gonna leave it up in the open again. Because horror, that's a popular thing in horror. Like, you leave so there's some kind of thing to continue on to or whatever, but I don't think that was the thing to continue on to. They could have done other stuff to get, maybe the wife's corpse is still in the house because he did this. They didn't even have to have any of those body parts come from the wife.
True.
So, but I think it would have been better if they had the daughter on it. That would have fucked me up so bad. I would have been like, this is the best horror game I've ever seen. That would have been so fucking cool.
Pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it would have been. And I think a lot of people would have appreciated that in a horror game.
And I liked, honestly, your first idea with him, like, him looking, and maybe the last painting was painting himself and it had all those mutilations happen to him.
Yeah.
Because this is loosely based off of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
Which, in the story of Dorian Gray, if you guys don't know, Dorian Gray had a portrait of himself made, and he could never age as long as he never looked at his portrait. But if he ever looked at his portrait, everything that happened in his portrait to him that had happened in real life actually finally happens all at once. So if he doesn't look at the portrait for 500 years, he stays alive for 500 years, but his portrait aged as though he aged 500 years. So he's skeleton, bone, and he immediately turns to all that.
Yeah.
So if he would have seen his painting and then just been like, seen him and then realized it was him and then had all that shit happen to him again and then fucking died, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, well, and I'm telling you, like, just having it to where it's more horrifying at the end of the game, because the end of the game is kind of boring. Yeah. Like, every ending is not scary at all.
No, and it really isn't.
Yeah.
Well, and it's weird too, because like, you're only in the horror when he's dealing with the past.
Yeah.
And trying to recreate his painting. When the painting's done, you're just walking around an empty house that's burnt. Yeah. And there's nothing in it. Yeah. Like, there's no scares at all when you're done with the game. Yeah. You can literally walk around most of the house.
You put that daughter thing in there, people will be fucking
Or just keep doing more of the scare stuff afterwards. Like,
yeah, I think just add some kind of finality to that, because you can always, Layers of Fear, the nice part about this is it's based on this guy, but the name suggests that it could be anyone. Right? True. Like, Layers, if it said so-and-so's Layers of Fear, then they would be pretty much stuck with this fucking character, but they're not. True. So they don't even have to do anything else with this character. It can just literally be, this is the one shot of this certain game, and then another game could be a different thing.
It could be more art stuff.
Yeah. It could be anything. It could be fucking photographs. It could be music. It could be literally anything.
Speaking of photographs, one of our next horror games that I really want us to play, it recently got a re-release on the Switch, but it's an older game too. I think it was a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 game. It's called Fatal Frame. Mm-hmm. And it's a Japanese horror game where you have to capture ghosts with this supernatural camera,
So it's Ghostbusters.
but you have to take their picture.
So it's
to capture
Ghostbusters.
them. Yes, but it sounds really interesting.
I'm gonna play that game just saying all the Ghostbuster lines. So.
Damn it.
It's fucking the Japanese are so original. They came up with Ghostbusters game form. It's just yeah, but I don't know. This game was scary, but I feel like it could have been better. They could have done
Yeah.
a lot better. The background could have been a little bit more. I liked what they were doing with the notes. Like I liked the fact that they were writing notes to each other and never talking or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it made sense because he didn't want to see her as she was. And,
Yeah.
like it made sense that she killed herself, but it would have made more sense if he killed the wife and the daughter in the house after
Yeah.
losing the daughter, kidnapping her back. Like
Well, and like the wife didn't kill herself until after he had hit the kid.
yeah.
Because he was drunk one night and the daughter was like trying to, oh, this is daddy's medicine, and she
Yeah.
drops the bottle and he attacks her, but then it was like, oh crap, I attacked her.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have
I
done
didn't mean
that.
to do that. Yeah, yeah, and I get it. He's an alcoholic too, which fuels into what's
Yeah.
going on. But again, you don't even need that because he's schizo.
Yeah.
Like honestly, you don't need any
That
addictions
just
at
makes
all.
it worse.
It does make it worse, but what he's seeing is what's normal for a schizo, right?
Yeah.
So why not just even take out the alcoholism?
I was wanting them to do more with the rats.
Yeah, the rats felt pretty lame.
So, especially because that's all based on his schizophrenia. There's several notes from exterminators that have come to the house, never found a single rat.
Yeah, but rat traps are everywhere.
Yeah, he's got rat traps around the entire house. He's got all this rat killer around the entire
Yeah.
house. And every time you're going anywhere, there's actually even a section of the game where you have to follow a rat.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And the rat, like every time he
'Cause you
gets
can make
to a
a
new
choice.
spot, he like perks up like this way.
Yeah, so he was my best friend. That was Ratatouille for me.
Nice, Remy.
That was fun. No, his name was Ratatouille.
No, you're one of those people.
Yeah, that was his name in this game. It was Ratatouille, and I was like, Ratatouille, where are you leading me? You boo. But you can actually take the opposite path of him, which I had no idea. Because at one point I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop following him for a second and go explore this part. It looks like it goes on. Should I go in? And you do, and it's like, all right, well, maybe it didn't go on. I don't know. Because they make you play this fucking game multiple fucking times.
I tried my best to avoid the wife, but there was one time I didn't realize she was there. Well, there's one time she actually fucking chased me.
Yeah, down the hallway.
Yeah, and I ran all the way back to that other room.
I'm mad at myself. There's certain things I had no idea about. So
Yeah.
so like I've told you, if you run towards the wife, you get the best ending.
Which is so weird because
Yeah,
every time
she's
she
a
catches
fucking
you,
monster.
she kills you.
Yeah, she definitely kills you.
She's like,
Oh, for sure.
and she kills
for
you.
Sure, for sure. She is a crazy monster bitch, and she kills you. But there's one part in there where you remember the wheelchair in the long hallway?
Yes.
So apparently you can push the wheelchair down.
Oh,
I had no idea.
I saw Markiplier do that one time when I first heard about this game. I watched Markiplier play through the entire game, and then I showed Jen the game, and then I had her play it for me because I couldn't play it.
You're a bitch.
I finally beat it. I beat it this
All right,
week.
All right.
Everybody, calm down. I heard you down there. Call me a bitch too.
Everyone's calling you a bitch.
But yeah,
He pushed it down the hallway?
yeah, he actually did do that.
Okay, I don't know what happens if you do that, but apparently it opens up another like cutscene or something.
Yeah, I
Not
think it opens
cutscene,
up
but-
another I think you start seeing her appear in the chair.
Yeah,
if I remember right, and it's creepy.
I wish I would have done that. I'm like, what is the point in this fucking wheelchair here?
Well, and that's one of the kind of cool things about this game is it's got a lot of things where
You don't know what you're doing.
well, and if you're a scaredy cat like I am, you can just be like, I don't want to do that, and you can just keep
yeah,
moving.
but I wish they would have put an action button in. That would have been a little helpful for those
Yeah.
types of things, because I would have been like, oh, let me try the action button on and see if that does anything.
I also really liked that they had, and we should have talked about this, I guess, in how does it play, but I like the game mechanic of sometimes walking in a different direction.
Changes, yeah, that
Changes
was
things.
actually really cool.
Because there's one time you're walking around in circles.
In hallway with
and,
the phone.
Yeah, and you keep hearing the phone, but it sounds weird. And then you start hearing a voice, but it sounds weird. Then if you start walking around the room backwards, it starts ringing the other way, and it actually talks normal. You were hearing everything in reverse, and you had to walk the opposite direction to get...
I did that for like 10 minutes. Not
I was
gonna
like,
lie.
it's fucking cool.
I'm like, what? Why am I not making any progress? Am I supposed to just keep going? Let's do it one more time. All right, one more time after that.
Well, and at a certain point, it also like starts saying shit like on the couch, like on the pillow. It was like, "You're going in circles. Are you going in circles?" And you're like,
And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm going to keep going in circles. Thank you very much.
I'm very much going in a circle.
Thank you for describing what I'm doing, asshole. Oh, fine, I'll fucking keep going in circles then.
So yeah.
Yeah, the story, I guess we can go into the endings a little bit. You get like 3 endings in this. It's one ending is you just paint a picture of the woman in black or whatever the painting's called, and suddenly the picture turns all fucked.
Yeah, she comes out of the painting, like possesses the painting, and like kind of moves her head out. It starts becoming a little fucked up.
A lot fucked up.
Yeah, and then she starts saying the shit to you about how you'll never like finish it or something like that.
And
then
you throw it in a room with a bunch of others.
Yes.
But they all look normal when you throw it in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, they all look fucked up. But when you go and do the normal family portrait, they all look normal.
Yes.
So then we have a family portrait. It's of your child and your wife. And if you finish that one, you burn the house down. That's the good ending, I think.
I mean, I would assume that'd be good for him
because
to
you go into the room with all your like failed paintings of the woman in black, and you're like, oh, okay, and you put it in there, and they all look normal. They don't look fucked up anymore. And then you're like, oh God, what have I become? And you burn the house down. You've light them all on fire, which is fucking stupid. So stupid. Then the best ending.
He could have actually sold those ones because those are the ones that were selling.
So the best one by far to me is the selfish ending.
Okay.
So you make a self-portrait of yourself instead. And you have to you have to not pick anything up, anything that belonged to your wife. Don't pick any of that stuff up.
Okay.
And don't walk towards her ever.
Okay.
If you do that, you get the selfish ending, and in the selfish ending, you make a self-portrait, and then you become rich and famous again. You get your daughter back.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's a good ending, and they're like, it's fucking selfish. It's like, what?
It's selfish because you're not thinking about your wife anymore.
You're your dead fucking wife.
Because you drove her crazy.
Isn't that the reason she killed herself?
I think that's kind of what they're
I think she was the selfish one because she left her daughter. What a fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. Yeah, it's honestly, and I don't know, out of all the endings, I didn't like a single one. I thought they were all lame.
Yeah.
I want fucking scares.
I did want something scary to happen at the end of the game.
Like the daughter thing.
Like,
oh God, that would be so fucked. You see the needle hanging out of her arm while her finger's missing on that arm with an eye gone, crying. Also, her skin's flayed on the other arm. Like, oh, how fucked would that be? How fucked would your head be?
I mean, like, even Resident Evil, you see some hint that Birkin's still alive at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's something else that's like,
Yeah.
Which in this one, I guess the whole end scare is you have to keep repeating this until you get it right.
Yeah, but it's not because you don't get there's no right or wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no ending is a real good ending except for the selfish one, but even that one's not really that good.
And it's weird that when you complete the game the first time and then you go back to the main menu, instead of like continue a new game, it says finish it in new game.
So I think it must be the DLC.
Maybe.
Because mine didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the DLC.
Okay.
So that's probably maybe there's something better in the DLC for the ending. Maybe I should have played the DLC.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering now too. I'm kind of curious to check it out. So I might
actually play it and see if maybe they go with my suggestion. And this little girl
I know there's more with the daughter in the DLC.
Yeah.
Because it's called Inheritance.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it, and there's more hints about the wife being still in the house and him actually using her as the
I know,
stuff.
but that's so boring. She's already
Depending on how they do it, it could be interesting.
Make it fucking horrifying. Make it an alive person, not a fucking dead person.
Maybe she was alive when he did it.
I doubt. No, she killed herself.
I know.
It's all on the notes. But then that has to be way later too. That body has to be decrepit.
Yeah.
The skin didn't look that decrepit, so that's why I thought it was maybe an alive boy or maybe himself.
I don't know.
Because also, blood doesn't flow when you're fucking dead.
It's hard to get it. You can get a small amount right after they die.
Yes. So like the stuff that they're talking about, like, and he's like, I used it like gasoline. I did a hose pump. I'm like, that's not how you fucking do that.
It, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. She'd have to be dead. She had to be dead for at least a week because he attempted to take his child back after she died. And he's doing all this again after because it's actually happening in real time,
I'm
right?
almost wondering if it wasn't necessarily after.
It has to be because he burns down the fucking house. That's the problem with it. It all has to be after. I think they fucked up their timeline. I think they tried to get this game to be horrifying and then fuck the ending. They needed a better ending.
They definitely needed a better ending.
If they rewrote this game today, I feel like they would be like, yeah, we need a fucking better ending.
Yeah.
Some of the more horrifying parts in this game, you were right, the fucking child's bedroom. That was fucking terrifying.
Fucked.
When you open the door at the end and it's just a doll staring at you, the giant doll.
Giant fucking
oh
doll
my god. Oh.
Any of the times where it was just giant fucking eyes watching you, that was some creepy shit.
There's a part in here where you open something and all the babies are hanging.
Oh god.
And it's like all these baby dolls and you're like, oh my god, no.
That's when you first get into going into like the kids stuff, because you see like a doll that looks kind of like your daughter on a chair.
Yeah.
And then all these other dolls start having this weird shit happen to them.
Yeah. And they're all running around too. Some of the dolls actually walk around. You're like, this is fucking Chucky, isn't it?
Creepy. Well, and it's creepy too because there's a couple times like you're walking in a hallway, and you'll walk by a hallway, and you know how sometimes you'll see like out a window, and like sometimes it's to like a courtyard, sometimes it's outside, whatever.
A trash can, or it's another room.
Yeah, or it's another room.
Reason.
There was a couple times where you saw light, and you saw like another window through the window, like a courtyard to a window, and you saw that window was lit up, and you see like a doll just like sitting there like. And then you walk by, and then the light just shuts off, and you're like, "Oh, that's not
that's okay. We'll just keep walking."
And it's like in the background, but it's like, "What the what?"
Yeah,
no,
the dolls were probably the good fucking thing to put in the game. I think that was a lot of fun.
The wife was terrifying. Anytime you did see her,
except for the fucking bathtub part. That was
the bathtub part was boring.
Boring as shit.
Yeah, it was because there wasn't like, and I kept on getting confused. I'm like, am I supposed to like
hold your breath and then get up? Like, I don't understand how I found I think it was the eye for that one, right? I think that was the last one you did before the checkers room.
So
yes, it's because you're in the bathroom. It was boring. The wife is just at the end of the hall, and you're swimming, but you're not moving your character. It's doing it for you. I'm like, this would be so much more terrifying if I was moving my character.
And it does like what happens normally when you get closer to the wife. The screen starts going crazy, and so I'm like, pull up out of the water because I don't want to fuck with her or she'll kill me. And then I go back into the water again because I still can't leave the room.
You get the non-family portrait. You have to pull up before you get to the wife, or you go all the way.
I couldn't leave the room. I couldn't leave the room until I actually kept my head under the water 3 different times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see, and I just did that because that's what I figured you had to do, but.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me leave the room.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't love it. It was kind of boring. It wasn't scary at all.
It wasn't.
If it was like you under the water and you had to make it to the end before you fucking drowned, and you were moving your character, and if you took any mishap, if you stopped for 1 second, you died, that would have been way more scary.
Well, and there's a section before that where you're pulling on this chain.
Oh, yeah.
And you're hearing this, like, crunching and hearing this girl screaming. And then, like, you go down the hallway and your wife's there, and she starts walking down the hallway towards you. And I'm like, oh, fuck no. And I ran down that hallway back into that room. I was like, I ain't fucking going that direction. Like, what the fuck's happening?
I walked towards her, and I was like, honey, glad I'm home?
I thought you were going to be like, honey, where are my pants?
No. I would have been like, where is my super suit?
What do you need now?
You run down and you're like, okay, I don't understand it because it doesn't explain to you what they do.
No,
it doesn't say you can even run from it. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just walk towards this bitch.
There's the first time you see her, there's a note on the wall before you see her, and it just says ignore her.
Oh, does it? I don't even remember. I probably saw it.
So yeah, it says ignore her.
You just walk down the hall towards her and you go, I'm ignoring you. I'm ignoring you.
Right after that moment, you see her walk across the hall from one door to another crying. And then, but you have to keep going down that hallway. And I'm like, I'm just not going to look in either one of those rooms. I'm just going to.
I looked in both. And she was crying in one of the rooms.
Uh-huh.
I remember
the
that.
one on the left, I think.
Yeah, because she's in the middle of the room. I'm like, hey, you doing okay, buddy? You have too much alcohol? What's going on?
Because it said ignore her, I was like, I'm just going to ignore her.
I just walked right towards her. Because I like to explore the rooms. And if you go up to where it drops an item, too, that you can pick up.
Oh, okay.
And it's another item related to her.
You got an achievement, actually, for ignoring her.
Oh, did you?
You go into that next room after you exit the hallway, and it said something like, you listen to advice or something was the name of the achievement or something like that. Like, and I was like, oh, okay.
Did you solve that one puzzle?
Which one?
The one with the Ouija board?
I didn't touch the Ouija board.
Oh, so it's,
I'm
it's
sorry.
literally
That's
just
something like I'm not too religious or anything anymore, but I will never fuck with a Ouija board.
oh well, they're fake anyway. But
I know they
but
are.
the Ouija board, you just have to put in a certain number combination, and there's like 3 of them or 2 of them, I think, and you see them in the hallways as you're walking to that room.
Oh, okay.
And if you do that, I didn't see them. I just had to look up because I didn't want to leave it. I'm like, I want to try to see what scary thing might happen, and nothing scary happens. I don't
okay.
even remember what fucking happens. That's how not scary it was.
Okay.
You put it in, and you get another item that basically you get a little backstory to.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it was again, but I ended up looking up because I had no idea. I'm like, what the fuck do I put in? I'm like, die, bitch, fuck. What do I put in here? Karen. What's my wife's name? Oh, it doesn't show you because this game is fucking trash. That's one thing I hate.
Oh shit! It doesn't, does it?
So I thought at the end of the game, maybe it'll show you your name and maybe you'd be a famous person or something. But then, like, it doesn't show your name ever. I'm like, what is the point? Why? Again, what character development does that give you that you don't know your fucking name throughout the entire game?
You're so lost in your sanity, you don't remember anyone's name.
Yeah, and then that's just stupid because you remember all these specific conversations with your fucking wife.
Those were conversations that like fucking ruined his life.
But then also you have all these notes where you decided to scribble out the name, so
yeah, that was the weird part.
Yeah.
It's like on your wedding notices and stuff like that.
yeah,
where, like,
it's half torn where the
it's
names
half torn
are.
and you scribbled out all the names. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's not a character development that serves a purpose, in my opinion. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else can explain to me why that fucking mattered, why your name was so fucking secretive. But throughout the entire game, I'm like, what's the
unless
point?
they had plans to give stories on all this later.
Your name is Michael Hay. Ooh, it's scary, isn't it?
Your name is Dorian Gray.
It could be, or maybe your name is really shitty. Like my name is LaFonda. Maybe it's like a shitty name.
If anyone out there is named LaFonda, he did not mean that.
Man, it's a shitty name. I'm sorry. But if your name is LaFonda and you're like, I hate my fucking name, I'm going to scratch it out on everything I know. Maybe that's why you did it. I don't
Maybe
know.
his name was Princess Consuela Banana Hammock.
It could have been. It could have been like a really shitty name, and you could have been like, I'm just going to scratch that out. These people don't need to know this. But I just don't.
Wonderstone.
I just really wish they would have put the name in or explained why they didn't. Like, there would have been like, some kind of more... Because I still don't get why they didn't do it, but maybe you have to play it all the time. I feel like
maybe they did just some of the things just because...
They thought it would be scary.
Implications.
Yeah, it's not really
without
scary, though.
actually giving purpose or meaning to it, but something that might just be like, make you uneased.
Yeah, I would be a genius at horror writing, I'm telling you. I'm so good at coming up with these fucking like, and then it's going to be fucked up. We're going to make people fucking terrified.
If me and you worked on a horror movie together...
You would be shit. You'd be
No.
No, put a clown in there. Oh, God, don't show me the clown.
I love horror so much. I just can't play it.
Listen, I'm
I
going to tell
can
you a
watch
story.
it
I'm going to
all
tell everyone a
time.
story about me going to see Blair Witch Project with Steven.
Okay, well,
and him putting his little hoodie over his eyes because he couldn't handle the second Blair Witch, which was not fucking scary.
It wasn't the second Blair. It was the remake.
Yeah. Not the remake. It was the brother looking for his sister. Remember? It's like the third Blair Witch because the
third one.
Because the second one wasn't really a.
It's called Blair Witch 2: Book of Shadows or something. Was the second one, but the newest one.
The second one didn't have a Blair Witch title, but it was a sequel to it, a spiritual sequel that people.
There was one that was called Blair Witch 2 as well.
No, I don't remember.
And then there was that new one that came out like 2016 or something called Blair Witch.
And then we're in the movie theater, and he puts his hoodie over his head and then ties it.
I had a little opening. It was this big.
The tiniest opening.
For those of you who don't know, it's the size of like a cup or
and
a
then
water
afterwards,
bottle.
he's like, "That was a great movie. I love horror."
I love that movie. I own that movie. I've watched it 3 more times since then, and I didn't hide the second time I watched it.
Okay, it was not that scary too. They're like, just stare at a corner and it won't see you. And I'm like, all right, then why don't you just shut your eyes and walk down the fucking stairs? You guys are really not putting this in well. And then it's like, they say the name. This was the worst part. It's like they're like acting as the person. It's like, Tommy, help me, and they're like, fuck
Cindy.
You're like, fuck no, I've seen too many of these in the past, bitch. You go fucking die.
No.
You get out of that fucking house and you just run straight forever.
I've gotten a lot better since that movie came out. At horror movies. You can ask my wife.
How long did it take you to complete this game?
5 hours.
How long did it take you in real time?
I was just being lazy part of it.
Whatever, Stephen.
I thought it was gonna be scarier than what it was.
Yeah, you did, and that's
I
why you didn't
remembered
play
it
it.
being
Oh.
scarier than what it was.
Yeah,
And when I got through it, I literally got through it in 2 sittings.
Yeah, it's
like
easy.
2 hours apiece.
Yeah.
It really, like, I got jump scared a couple times. My wife laughed at me a couple times because, like,
because it was good. It was some of the scares were good. I'm telling you, but not a lot of them. Not a lot of them were good. They
No.
should have really put more fucking.
the one that got me the most, that she laughed at me the most, was there's one where you go into a door and then you see 3 doors, one in front, one on
And
the
the
side.
door's name is Dorian.
And then you turn
Gray.
around and then there's all doors, and then there's no doors, and then you start opening doors.
Oh yeah, and the brick walls on.
And then
is that
like,
that part? Because they did that a couple times.
And then there was like a painting where a guy was like looking, like, look behind you. And then I turn around and there's another one, but it's smaller. And then I turn around, there's another one, but it's smaller. And then I turn around again and there's a giant eye. And I just like, oh shit!
Yep.
Oh, okay. I wasn't prepared for that.
I like that stuff. The one. Do you remember the painting part where they had the giant painting that kept coming out of itself?
Oh
Like
yeah.
it just kept like putting multiple paintings on top of it, so it looked like you could walk into it. I thought that was really fucking cool.
Yeah, there was some really cool visual shit in
and
this
then
game.
there were parts where they were like, let's just melt the room. That'll be scary. Yeah, it's just I didn't like those. I just thought
Yeah.
that was lazy writing.
Yeah, there's parts of this game that are brilliant.
Yeah.
Parts of this game that are just lackluster, and parts that you're like,
Oh.
what was this for?
And so after one of the chapters, one of my favorite parts is you're just looking around in the room, in the painting room. So every time you complete a chapter, you go back to the original painting room, his little home office where he does all his paintings.
Yeah.
And you add the piece that
It's
you
his little
found.
studio.
Yeah. You add the piece that you found to the painting. And if you, like, I don't know why I even looked up, but at one point I look up and it's just miles of emptiness. Like, it's just the house is continuing up for miles. You're like, holy fuck.
I didn't ever look up in that room.
That's
kind of
and I don't
interesting.
even know why I looked up. I'm like, all right, what am I missing? Because you can read the note or whatever on the
Yeah.
ground, and you can go find some. I don't even know if I finished the note.
You can open a couple chests in there, and there's a bunch of like liquor bottles. And
Yeah,
there's some
yeah, and
notes
then
in there. And
in
then
one point there's baby dolls in there after
Yeah.
one chapter.
and then there's 6 cabinets of the 6 items you have to create.
Yeah.
And it when you find the item and you put it on the painting, it puts it in one of those cabinets. You can open it and then you can read a short.
Yeah, and the
thing
things you
about
find
it.
is the first thing's flesh. You needed a canvas, so you got flesh.
Yep.
And then the next thing's hair because you needed a paintbrush.
And then bone because you needed
Bone for the white, for the base.
Yeah.
So basically every painting needs a base.
the
And then blood for
Blood.
the actual
color or
color,
something.
which it wasn't. No part of that painting was fucking red, so I don't understand. Whatever. A finger.
Yes.
What?
For
Why the fuck did he
finishing
need?
touches?
Oh yeah, the finishing touch. I thought that was the. I'm like, you're pushing it now, pal. What the fuck does that mean? And I guessed it too. I'm like, what is the last one going to be? An eye to view it?
Yeah.
And then it's a fucking eye, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit.
Wait, I got some.
You got something for this?
Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
What are you doing? Boo. Yeah, I was just like, man, they're really... The finger and the eye were really pushing it. I liked everything else, but the finger and the fucking eye.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell can they possibly put in here? A finger and an eye?
Finishing touches.
Yeah, that's so fucking stupid. I was so mad. I'm like, oh my
One of the
fucking
other
God.
scares that got me is when the first time you go into the kitchen, you're looking around and like weird stuff starts
Yeah.
happening in the kitchen. Then you hear that voice.
In the prologue?
and I think so, maybe.
Okay.
And then you open up like the pantry door, and then a knife gets thrown like right next to you.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
So that's not in the prologue. That's later. There's nothing scary in the prologue.
No. So
So,
yeah, it was later
yeah.
then.
Yeah,
But
so-
yeah, there's a segment where a knife is thrown at you in the kitchen, and that's the only time where something like
Yeah.
happens where you think somebody behind me with a knife, like
And
fuck.
you're like, I'm not turning around. If I don't turn around, they're not fucking there.
Well, and I hate it all the time. So it's like turn around. I'm like, fuck.
No, I don't have to. You go fuck yourself, house. Yeah, the prologue was probably the best part of the game because there's nothing that can jump out at you. You're just fucking walking around. At one point, you press the piano too much. I don't know if you did this, but if you press the piano and you do it a couple times, the thing shuts on you.
Oh no, I did
And I'm
not
like,
do that.
okay, house, go fuck yourself. That was a beautiful melody, but you go fuck yourself, okay? You go right the fuck out. That's really what you were doing. You weren't playing any song. You were like, da-da, da-da, Okay, enough of that. We're gonna stop it right now.
I'm gonna play my favorite song. This song's called "The World on Fire."
And the house is like, nope, we're gonna fucking shut that down. And then if you go into the kids' room, like a ball gets thrown somewhere. I'm like, where did that ball come from?
Yeah.
I'm like, was that a ball? Where is it? I want it.
Yeah.
I can throw that at monsters.
Turning on the carousel toy and then the spinning around the room. That was creepy.
That was fucking just. I'm
did
telling you
not.
that was your typical horror where
Yeah.
it just goes around and there's one scary thing, another scary thing. Oh,
Even
God.
more scary.
Yeah, and it does that several times, and then there's always going to be a climax, like when you open the door and
Yep.
the baby doll is right there, and that's a pretty typical, tried and true method for horror.
It's one of those
games.
things where it's like, all right, all this horrible shit happened. The room got bright again.
Yeah.
Open the door. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, and then-
God damn, I got all.
And you open it again, it's the hallway, and you open the next door, and you're back in
Yeah.
the fucking whatever. What did you find in the kids' room? I can't even remember. Was it hair? I think it was hair.
It was the hair,
Yeah. That's what made me think it was the kid at first.
Oh,
Because you go in that room and you're like, why am I finding the hair in the kids' room?
Well, I think the daughter was blonde.
Yeah, and the hair you got was blonde.
Oh, I thought the hair you got was brown.
No, it was blonde. I really hope it's the daughter you're fucking over. I'm not gonna lie. All right, well that's pretty much the story and what we liked and what we hated about it. So let's
Pretty
move
much.
on to
Worth, or not.
how you feel about this.
You know, as far as like simple jump scary, like 1 or 2 night horror thing, I feel like it's pretty worth it.
Yeah.
It's like we said, it's short, 3 to 4 hours to get through it. If you know what you're doing, you can probably get through it in 2. It's really got some simple jump scares. It's got some really visually nice things. It's got some nice music. It's definitely got some good like jump scare horror and
Yeah.
some psychological horror. Some psychedelic.
Not real.
What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Worth. I like this game. It was fun. Again, they're the nitpicky things that I didn't like the endings and stuff, can all be fixed later on with DLCs and stuff. And we never got to play the DLCs, so
True.
I don't know too much about how they actually ended
Yeah.
the game. And then they released a second game, which might be good. I don't know. This game was okay with its jump scares.
Yeah.
I really did like some of the fucking beautiful art. The maps. The maps were beautiful. Going through them was so much fun. I'm like, this game really came out like 6 years ago. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, and seriously, like some of the times where, and this game is so good about making you like really touch every door basically, because like, can I go through this one? Can I go through this one? And then you're like, wait, do I have to go back and go through the door that I just went through?
Yeah.
And like, it has a lot of these like manipulative things that makes you do a lot of things, which I really think they could have done more with.
Yeah.
But I really think it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably not an expensive game. It was probably $20 or it's probably less now. It's probably like $10
I don't remember.
now.
I think it was like $10.
Yeah.
No, I think it was actually 20.
Okay, it could have been.
Yeah, overpriced for the time, but whatever.
Yeah.
What can you do? But yeah, that was Layers of Fear, everyone. And so next week's game is
Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine. You fucking
I've never played it,
loser.
so
What the fuck's wrong with you?
my bad.
I've
Some
never
of the
played it
games
either.
are Mario, some are Super
I think
Mario.
I'm pretty sure I played it once, and I remember cleaning up the paint off the ground with the hose thingy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is boring. I guess I'm done now.
We could do something else.
This game has inspired me to clean up graffiti, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I want graffiti actually.
Yeah. So yeah, that was when I was a kid. It was probably not. I mean, there's probably better layers to it than what I got to. So
True.
layers, you get it.
Layers. It's
It's
not
prob-
very fearful. Though.
No, it's probably better than what I remember it being. So I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played it.
I already know the
Figured-
secret ending to it.
Oh.
There's a secret ending that's fucking lame as shit. It's on like the worst ranked secrets to unlock ever. It's like
Wow.
number 5 or something. It's
Well, you have
crazy.
to go into that on the
Yeah.
episode.
All right, well that was it, guys.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned and to stay classy and go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves, Colorado,
Go
and
fuck-
wherever else you listen to us
Yeah,
from.
go fuck yourselves, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
No.